Easley of the Seattle Seahawks, and you're watching NorbFam.
What's up, 12s? It's Love the Tuba with the Seattle Seahawks, and you're watching NorbFam.
I'm DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks, and you're watching NorbFam.
What's going on, everybody? It's NorbFam coming at you with another breakdown episode. Actually, I shouldn't say another breakdown. We haven't done this in a while, actually. But it feels like it's a very necessary thing right now, given the way this game unfolded on Sunday against the Rams. Totally unexpected. A lot of puzzled heads out there. A lot of social media just kind of freaking out. Fire this and trade this and that. And, it's just kind of crazy right now what's going on with the Seahawks. But we're going to try and get some clarity on this. We're going to try to break this down in a way where we can try to have some non-emotional, logical breakdowns of what this team's issues really are and what can be done to help them moving forward. And to do this, I'm going to bring in the help of my good friend here, longtime supporter of my channel, and now in college and grown up man style, back on the show. It is Sky-High Aviation. What's up, Sky-High? Welcome back.
What is up, NorbFam? Yes, it is College Sky-High Aviation, repping the UND Aviation. I'm currently going to the University of North Dakota right now, studying commercial aviation, going to be a pilot, as most of you know. But today we're going to talk about the Seahawks' utterly drastic performance in Week 1. And how it's not as bad as I think it could have been, but it's pretty bad. And there are some things that definitely need to be fixed before we get into Week 2 against that tough game against the Lions, which I did find out is Fox's #1 game this week. So they're finally giving us some attention that we deserve.
Okay, for a non-prime time game, at least we're getting that game of the week or whatever that they give. So, okay, well, we got a lot of people on here, and I appreciate you guys watching. We got Uma Pirate Girl. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday, Uma Pirate Girl Uma. What's happening? Good to have you back here on the show. I got my little, you can see in the widescreen here, so I got my little subscriber count here. I'd love to get that thing a little bit higher. Finally got it back to hacked levels. Would love to get to 51 sometime this season. With your help, maybe you can do that. So please do so, and I would appreciate it. Your little message will show up to saying, "Hey, blah 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 has subscribed." So make that little ding-a-ling show up. So let's get into this, Sky High. As I know you're going to do some play breakdowns, but tell me kind of your thoughts as we talk about what happened on Sunday. I did my little breakdown yesterday. I'm very curious to see if your thoughts align with mine. So let's get your initial take on what happened on Sunday.
Well, if my initial take varies from what happened right after the game ended to now what I'm thinking about now. So what happened after the game ended, I really thought that this defense really just fell apart, especially in the second half. In the first half, I thought it was actually a pretty decent performance. Matthew Stafford really hadn't gotten up those numbers yet. The run defense, for all I know, has actually been very, very good so far. We're going to look at that tonight. And my reaction toward it now is there are things that need to be fixed, and it's mainly based on communication and executioners, which mostly happens most of the time when there are problems arising and you get defeated in such a big manner. A lot of people are like, we're going to push the panic button. This team is coming. What was that? That was an interesting. Whoa!
That means AD has joined the NorbFam. AD has rejoined the NorbFam. So thank you very much. Or at least that's what it's indicating. But he just had a message on here saying he can't believe the Hawks, dude. Good thing I decided to listen to music at work in the fourth quarter. Boy, was I heated. Now the Mariners are sleeping too. What's going on? When's the music video coming out? Is Olivia Holt in it? LOL. All right. So thank you for jumping in there, AD. Sorry I killed your flow there for a second there, Sky-High, but had to shout out AD, longtime member. You were saying...
Yeah, I was saying that this team is way too talented, in my opinion, for there to be problems like this going on. Obviously, I think we got humbled in the first game. We came in with booming confidence, and this is something that usually doesn't happen to a Pete Carroll team. So I think this is a good punch in the mouth that this team needed. Obviously, I would rather, if this team is going to perform very high and up to our expectations this year, I'd much rather have it happen in the first game than like week 16 when we're vying for seeding and division seedings. So it sucks that it happened against a divisional opponent, but it's good that it happened to us early in the season, that we needed this punch in the mouth, that we kind of needed this humbling, and I think it's going to make us better because we're way too talented to be having these kinds of issues week in and week out. We're going to look at Geno Smith, what he did. I think Geno was fine up until the second half when we kind of had the ball for like 15 plays, and that was it. But I think there's going to be no regression towards him. I think the run game surprised a lot of people too. I think Kenneth Walker did a fine job in the time that he got, and I think the run defense did pretty good. But again, the pass defense and the pass rush is what we're going to probably mainly talking about today, and the miscommunications and the errors that were made and the problems that we're just going to that were faced because of it. So we got to get over the loss. We got the Lions up this week. I think we match up really well, actually, personally. I think we match up really well against the Lions, have a chance to put up a lot of points on the board because this is a very explosive offense. I think we'll be just fine.
Wow, that's a very confident statement right there, that we'll be just fine, considering right now everybody thinks the house is on fire and that we should just jump ship. So, you covered a lot there, and let's get into it. You want to jump right into the play breakdowns? I'm excited to see what you got for us.
Yeah. So, barring time constraints, I do have 15 plays that I have, but I don't know if we'll get through all of them, but we are going to get through some big. If we need to, we'll jump to some pretty big plays that we have.
I definitely want to see some of these plays in the second half because obviously that's where the wheels came off the bus. But also the other one I want to see is that double reverse flea flicker because my view got blocked in the stadium and I was going, why didn't he throw the ball? Because Jake Bobo was wide open down the middle of the field, and I want to see exactly how that happened. Anyway, but let's follow your lead here. I want to see what you got. You ready to pull the plays up?
Yes.
All right, let's do it through the magic of StreamYard. Here we go with the play breakdowns. Here we go.
Ta-da! All right, so obviously before we begin, I got these cool little tools that we can play with. I've got this. We can draw, we can highlight, and of course, we can erase. So with that beginning, our first play, it's after this play. We're just going to let it run a little bit. It's this play. All right, so we're going to look at this play. Ignore the pause signs because you can kind of see it, but you're going to see here that the Seahawks line up in what is pretty much one of their bread and butter formations. There's receivers are sort of inside, not inside the hash marks, but inside, keeping close to that offensive line. We've got two tight ends, which is a fairly common thing in this offensive scheme, and obviously something that ranges back to the old Pete Carroll days, which is pistol formations, right? We saw this a lot with Marshawn Lynch, and now we're going to see it a lot with Ken Walker because he's kind of that downhill cut running back guy. So this is the Seahawks bread and butter. It's going to be, I think, a basic handoff off to the left here that's going to cause that I think the Seahawks should run more of. This is something that was successful in the Lions. And one thing that a lot of people may not have noticed, but Shane Waldron brought this over from the Rams, is the fact that there was pre-snap motion. And this is something that I think it's important to show because we're going to see a lot of it in the upcoming plays. Pre-snap motion is a huge, almost part of every single play that the Rams offense runs. And here, Shane Waldron, obviously coming from the Rams, has implemented some of that pre-snap motion. So obviously, Parkinson and Disley, two blocking tight ends, almost sort of gives us away that this is going to be a run play. So they again, we're going to look at it one more time. They line it up. Parkinson comes in motion. Disley comes in motion. They set that gap perfectly. Lewis really doesn't hold his block. If he does, I think Ken Walker kind of gets out into open space here because 44 doesn't really have 44 is kind of in no man's land out there, and the safety is the only guy that you beat. So overall, this is pretty decent execution there, barring it's a 4 or 5 yard gain. So this is something I think the Seahawks can improve on, and I need to go to my timesheet to find the next play. So next play is 2 minutes and 26 seconds in. Here we go. I got it ready.
And then when you're ready, okay, here you go.
There we go. We've got a bit of a now spread out formation here. So obviously, for those of you who watch the preseason,
Yeah, 4 wides, single setback.
Single setback. This is Jake Bobo up here. And this is Jackson Smith and Jigba. And Tyler Lockett often plays in the slot while DK Metcalf's going to come out here. And we're just going to watch this play out. So the Rams have this. They're rushing 3, so they're preparing for a pass. Obviously, they have this lined up pretty well. But there's going to be this is what I talk about when I say Geno Smith. People are saying all over social media, Geno's washed. He shouldn't be playing. We need to be tanking for Caleb Williams. This is simply not true. Geno is a very smart quarterback, and this is why. So we're going to watch this play develop here. Rams have a linebacker out playing coverage. Oh, that's a Seahawks thing. Okay, Geno's first read, he's looking over the middle here for Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's not going to find him. The Rams so far have this covered up pretty well. Well, Ken Walker sneaks right out of the backfield. They realize, oh, crap, we've got him to worry about. And at that point, they're playing a zone, or not a zone, but a manish zone. So this guy's he's not going to go out and play deep coverage. So Geno's going to do something real smart. He fakes that. How does he hang on to that ball? A lot of quarterbacks, that ball is going to come out, and it's going to have to be forced to Walker. He hangs on to that ball. Really good-looking swim move. So much so that he fakes out 44 here. This guy's thinking, oh, Ken Walker's got the ball already. That allows DK, that's not the cursor sign, that allows DK to get open here. Geno bounces out. He's, again, makes a phenomenal throw out to Metcalf onto that right sideline. Metcalf spins around, makes a good play. We look at it from a separate angle, sort of, I guess, a little bit easier to see if you're from the quarterback's perspective. Geno's looking, makes his read, fakes it because he knows that one of his guys is possibly open downfield, and he finds Metcalf because the defenders got turned around. So this is overall a really, really, really good play by Geno Smith. So we're going to.
That was a nice pump fake, and it did turn. They had him double covered basically, and then the pump fake set him free.
They had a double covered pump fake, set him free. So Geno Smith has done his homework. So we're going to go on to the next play, and here. This
is where it felt like, hey, this team looks pretty good. This is our first drive. We were moving. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is what we were hoping to see. And at this point, the sky wasn't falling yet. We were looking pretty good.
This drive ends up being a field goal. We're going to move on to oops. We'll let the kickoff roll. We get 4 seconds until we get. All right, we're here. So this is the Rams' first play. One thing I've noticed that's a bit similar is you see these receivers, they're kind of bunched up on the line of scrimmage. They've got what essentially is 2 tight ends almost, because they've got Puka Nacua right there and Tyler Higbee kind of bunched together. So similar to what the Seahawks run, the staff, they're running this offense essentially, but it's under center and the running back 7 yards behind the quarterback. So here's the first play, right? This is the first defensive play of the game. Seattle's got this pretty well scouted. This looks like it's going to be a run. This is a formation that they may have seen during training camp. So the safeties are not playing as deep. Everybody's really trying to contain the inside here. So this is a formation that I think I'd like to see them use more, especially after the result of this play. So again, calls the motion because the Rams always have a motion to the outside, and it stopped well. And guess who's right there? Bobby Wagner in there for his first tackle as a new Seahawk. Bobby Wagner or Jordan Brooks. It's either or. So he calls for the motion. Wagner comes in, shuts it down, sheds his block. 3 Seahawks shedding blocks, actually. And if that doesn't work, you've got another cornerback out there who can, and Diggs crashing in, who can make a play on that. But really good. And this is a good sign here, saying that the run defense is being successful overall. So we haven't gone downhill yet, but we're going to begin to look at some of these pass plays here. I'm going to switch plays real quick.
And I remember my feeling as I was kind of talking about the way the game felt as we went along was in the beginning. I remember making a comment going, they're going to run the ball to Akers a lot. And then at a certain point, I was like, wow, they don't really trust their receivers. They're just going to the running back and the tight ends. They hardly threw the receivers early on in the game. Obviously, the second half was totally different. I'm going to want to see what the breakdowns look like for why these receivers were wide the freak open play after play after play. But I know that's coming up in the second half breakdown. You ready for the next one?
Yes. So here we go. We've got another formation. This time they've got
Hey, one little tip real quick. When you let it run, just so we can see it in its full brightness, try to let it play one time through so we can see the whole play go in full bright, and then you can do the breakdown.
You know,
otherwise we get the washed out gray version. That's
a really smart idea, not gonna lie. All right, so here we go. We've got another. Again, it's going to be another handoff here, but again, another.
Pretty good stop.
It's a pretty good stop, but it's also a play. We'll watch it again. A play in motion. Nakua's in motion. Shallow wide receiver alignment, and it's a pretty good stop because guess who sets his block? Jaron Reed.
I remember that one.
Thumbs up. Sets his block perfectly. I thought he was the best signing that we made off season, and obviously Draymond Jones, who barely got his name called, but we'll talk about that later. It looks pretty obvious that this is going to be a run here. The Seahawks are prepared for it to be a run. They're prepared very well because obviously they end up making the stop for no gain. Really good tackle by Jaron Reed. That's textbook right there. That's what we need to see more of. And obviously we'll go to the next play here. One second, if you want to cut back.
I think that's again for everybody remembers how the game ended and how nasty the final stats looked like. But if you recall, and I said this yesterday. You go to the halfway point of the game. At the end of the half, we were up by 6. The stats were almost even. And if you were to ask, how does our team look? You'd probably go, yeah, Seahawks are looking pretty good. Wish they'd made that field goal. But other than that, I think we're playing pretty fine. So this is the good stuff. This is the good stuff that everybody forgets because this all happened before the nightmare happened.
We are ready for the next play. So we've got 1 second. Find my mouse. So here we go. There we go. We've got this is a shotgun formation here. They've got the Kyron Williams, which is their third down running back here, and it's a pass play. Stafford's going to fire, and obviously Seahawks playing a stop zone. It's a third down. They end up getting the first down, but we're going to come back to this just a second, so you can see what the Rams love to do, and what they did this time is they ran a little less play action. Instead of running play action, they kind of played to the Seahawks' weakness. I kind of want to know if we can get a little bit more of a pre-snap view here. 1 second. Here we go. Pre-snap view. It looks like, from the naked eye, that the Seahawks have this played out well, right? We've got one linebacker and 2 wannabes, with one being Julian Love or I don't know who that is down there. Artie Burns, actually. And the other being Kobe Bryant. And Bobby Wagner's acting as that Mike down there in the middle. What's going to happen is these guys are actually not linebackers. They're guys that are dropping back into zone. And what's going to happen is Bobby Wagner's kind of this guy who's all alone and left in the middle here. So Jefferson runs his slant. They kind of run the Texas route with the running back. Atwell's going to try and break into the end zone. Nakua. But the entire time, Stafford's eyes, if you look here, are just pointed at Van Jefferson. And you can see Trey Brown point at Julian Love saying, hey, you got him, right? He's right there. You're gonna make the play, right? You know what's going to happen. Well, his eyes are not on the receiver, or at Trey Brown. His eyes are on the quarterback, where they should be. And Stafford, every NFL quarterback should be able to make this throw. This guy's not going to be able to Kobe's not going to be able to make a play because he's got his eyes focused down here. Jefferson really runs a good route, and here's the problem. Love is playing too deep. He breaks down too late. By the time you see the football here, it's too late pretty much, unless you're maybe within even with him. And Stafford, again, makes a really good throw, right? And Jefferson is open. And this is kind of what the Rams are trying to get started, right? Seattle does a decent job playing this, right? He gets right as he soon catches the ball. You got to be a strong, big boy to catch that. But the problem is the Rams are going to start taking advantage of those kinds of plays. They're going to start throwing it a lot more into the middle of the field and starting to take advantage of these one linebacker looks, right? Because look how much space is in here. Look how much space is in here. You've got so much space in here. And Bobby Wagner's 30-something years old. He can only move so far and so fast, right? And we're going to look at a play where he struggled at one point. But and these safeties jobs are kind of to just contain the middle, right? Contain the middle and then break out if there's a play to the end zone. So Stafford, it makes life easy for him, right? You just got him cut in the middle. Trey Brown is not, his responsibility is no longer Van Jefferson. It's Julian Love's or whoever is covering this crossing area. And he breaks down too late, and unfortunately, he makes the play, and they think it's short of a first down. In reality, it's not. But that's kind of what happened there. So that's kind of a precursor as to what the Rams are going to start doing to attack the Seahawks secondary.
Right. Yeah, that was just the start. That was the tip of the iceberg. We started seeing a heck of a lot more of that as the game went along.
So let me find that.
And by the way, Julian Love, he and Trey Brown had a rough day.
No, they
both
did not
of those guys had rough days.
We are going to dig into them. They did not have a good day at all, and it was a lot of just miscommunication. It was a lot of pointing at each other. It was a lot of, I think, Trey Brown has been in the system longer. I'm not going to give him crap though. He was pretty bad, but Julian Love, being that Pro Bowler safety that he can be, kind of needs to. I mean, the responsibility falls on both of them, but less responsibility to Julian because he's only been in the system. This is his first game in the system. Trey Brown's been in a few games in the system, but he's a younger guy. So we're going to look at this next play here.
All right, you ready?
This is a defensive play, yes, and we'll let it play out. There's Nakua. He makes the catch. Again, as always, motion. This time it's with Atwell. And we're going to see, again, the Rams continue to attack more of that over-the-middle kind of stuff. So here we go. We'll throw it back 10 seconds. Obviously, Atwell comes in motion. That's noted by the slot cornerback here. And in this case, I do believe Seattle's rushing 4 here. Seattle's rushing 4, or no, not 4. Actually, yes, 4. They're blitzing their lone linebacker out there.
Is that Bobby on the blitz?
That is Bobby on the blitz, and
which they did several times. They tried to blitz Bobby several times.
He's probably going to get picked
got
up
home.
by Kyron Williams. And what ends up happening is Kobe Bryant's looking directly in this direction. So is Julian Love. These guys are coupled together, right? They're here. Tariq's fine. Whoever's playing out here is fine, or Trey's out here fine. Quandre's fine too because he's patrolling the end zone. He's got that one safety look. But here's what's going to happen. Tyler Higbee's going to run a nice little, just one of these. I don't know what the route is called, but just one of those hook routes. And they see Atwell. Both of them see Atwell. Well, guess who's pointing his finger this time? We talked about pointing fingers. Julian Love is pointing his finger. I don't know to who. I think he's pointing to Diggs, but the other, Artie Burns, is pointing to Diggs. So you can't be pointing in two places at once, obviously. So Diggs is like, okay, maybe he's pointing to Kobe. But Bryant's got his eyes focused on Tutu Atwell. So here's the deal. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that this is again a cover 4 zone. And Julian Love's responsibility is going to end up being Tutu Atwell, and because he's the safety, and Kobe Bryant's responsibility is Tyler Higbee. But guess what happens? They stand in the same place. They don't do anything. They're both like, okay, we both got Tutu Atwell, and he's doing his job, and Higbee just gets wide open, and only now does Kobe Bryant realize, oh hey, nobody went and picked him up. Quandre Diggs is like, okay, well, let me throw my hand out there. What are you doing? What? He's still got his hand pointed out there. What's going on? So let's erase this so we can see. But he should be covering him. He should be following him on the zone, so that way Diggs doesn't have to come up and hit him. That way he doesn't have to worry about it. Julian Love is in his position. Kobe Bryant is not, because Kobe Bryant is the nickelback. He's the cornerback. He's that slot cornerback. and it ends up being over the middle. And Kobe's the guy who's like, yeah, I could probably take responsibility for that. And we'll look at it here, right? Julian's in his correct position. Kobe's there. He points at him. He kind of gives him a tap. He's like, what are you doing? That's where I'm supposed to be. And so, yeah, obviously no accountability. It's accountability, no accountability. They don't really talk about it after that, kind of in the zone. But, yeah, that's kind of that. So, obviously this time it's a defensive mistake. That shouldn't happen if you're Julian Love and Kobe Bryant. So in that case, that play should probably be stopped. It should probably be an incompletion because Higbee's on the ground making that catch. So
this is really, at least that play, that's really on the players.
Yeah, that's
not
really
the coaching, not the scheme. It's just guys not being where they're supposed to be at. Maybe it's that whole thing, they didn't play together during the preseason, right? You're resting your starters, preventing them from injury, which is great. The problem is if they don't play together at game speed, at game noise, because obviously it's going to be noisy at that point, so they can't communicate either. They can't hear themselves talk. Then these things happen. So maybe this is a product of the fact that this is game one and they got a lot of rust on their that they got to dust off as well.
So yeah, I think this is just partly not schematics. If Kobe Bryant makes his read there and he makes the correct and he goes into his zone, I think Stafford still has a lot of time to throw the ball. I don't know if he gets a lot of pressure towards him, but I think the play outcome may be different, right? It may end up being a check down for only 2 yards instead of a first down. So it changes the dynamic of things, even if pressure wasn't there. So let's take a look at this next play here. Seahawks do a good job of these two plays. They end up pushing the Rams back, actually, out to the red zone, out in between the red zone and the goal line here. Oh, it's third down.
Didn't they have a penalty here or something?
We're not third down. Yeah, the Rams had a penalty. We're gonna let this play out, and if you think the secondary, if you think we had tackling problems last year, this is.
Oh, this is the one that gets them down at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, that's probably that is the worst. That is one of the worst tackling efforts. I mean, you're in the National Football League, right? I can't be talking for these people, right? I have no play in saying or any say in how to tackle. I haven't played.
And the ball is at the 18 or 17-yard line. It's like
right?
You just keep them contained, and then they'll have to kick the field goal instead. Now, that play pretty much sets them up for the touchdown.
I disagree with the play call from the defensive coordinator here, Coach Kurt. So I disagree with the play call. I think that this should be a man play. Obviously, it's a third down, I believe, and this is something where you kind of you've been having problems this drive with playing zone coverage. Switch it up, play man, get these guys to jam the receivers up here, right, and kind of follow these guys around, right? Because you've got your 2 deep safeties, right? You've got your help in the back if you need it. You've got actually 2 real linebackers this time, and you've got 4 guys up on the line. So, in reality, he shows blitz, right? They're going to show blitz. Stafford knows he's probably not going to blitz, but it's a stunt, right? They're going to show blitz. Nope, he comes right back out. The Seahawks love to do this. They love to try and show blitz and then back out of it. Kind of shows you think on the broadcast that the guy's uncovered. In reality, he's just set up for a poor positioning. So, right. Good effort by Bryant to try and knock the ball away. But now he's got Trey Brown in his face, right? He's got Trey Brown right in his face.
Yeah, he should be tackled for about a 3-yard gain, maybe 4.
I'm not going to judge his tackling, but he should be getting his shoulder down, right? Tackling. He's trying to wrestle him down like WWE style. He's trying to super slam him or something. So pull him down, right? They don't teach these kids proper tackling these days. He tries to pull him down. These guys are pretty. I mean, if you look at the height, these guys are pretty much the same size, right? So it's a 50-50. Trey Brown's not strong enough, wraps him down. He's got all the momentum. Trey Brown doesn't. He had to stop, and he's lucky he didn't get blindside blocked off by Van Jefferson. Nakua really popped off this game, and again, that's just a poor effort right there. That play should have resulted in a no, 3 yards. in reality,
Right.
it's a missed tackle, and it shouldn't have happened. It's a Pete Carroll coach team. Missed tackles should not be a concern. We'll move on to the next play in a second. But Pete Carroll, those tackles, missing tackles should not be a concern. That was a really big problem last year, if not the biggest problem last year, which is why we tried to bring in some veterans who actually had pretty good tackling ability to try and clean some of that up. But missed tackles, if you are playing on a Pete Carroll team and you cannot tackle, you will not get a lot of playing time. You got to be 100% blunt with that. Pete Carroll's cornerbacks and secondary, the entire secondary has to be tackling first, right? They are tackling first players. A lot of players now are ball hawks, bat the ball away.
Thanks, Eddie.
Nicholson Jr.
Thanks, Eddie, for subscribing. Appreciate it.
They are ball hawks. They are players that can go out and make plays. These are their ex-wide receivers. It shouldn't come as a surprise as to why these players, why Pete Carroll has so many good tackling players. You need to have good tackling skills in order to.
And it should be noted that Trey Brown was in that spot over there, and we know who was supposed to be there, right? Our number 1 draft pick, Devon Witherspoon. That's who should have been there had he been completely healthy and been able to start the game. He would have been on the left, and Rick Witherspoon would have been on the right. It's unfortunate we're not reaping our investment, but so at some point he will be there. How soon that is, we're not sure.
Probably this week.
And he's a good tackler. He's a good tackler and he's a good cover guy. So
that's why the Seahawks drafted him. He's a dog.
Exactly. And it just sucks that he's not on there, right? The best ability is availability, and that hasn't happened yet. So he needs time to get on there and get his game going.
Hawks end up giving up a touchdown or to the Rams. So we're back on offense. This happens. Geno gets popped. He gets that 15-yard penalty, or the penalty's offset. Here we go.
Oh no, is this the Bobo play?
This is Jake Bobo getting wide open.
Man, this is the play that was so frustrating. This could have been magical. The place would have come crashing down out of just seismic activity if this play had happened. All right, roll it.
So here we go. We got Geno up top. This is Bobo. This is Parkinson. Disley. What's his name? Dallas and Charbonnet, I believe. All signs point to this being a run play. You don't even have DK or Tyler in on the play. Here we go. Double reverse. Flip it. Geno. Oh, he's right open. He's missed the window already. Geno makes a good play out of it. He takes off, gets 8 yards.
All right, back that up because it glitched right when you played. So I missed, once again, just like when the guy stood in front of me, I didn't see what happened at the point.
Don't glitch.
The football guys won't let me see this play. All right, let this roll. I want to see it. There it is. Oh, how do you not see that, Geno? Wide open, splitting the safeties. Are you kidding me?
Now let's take a look let's take a look from this angle, because you're going to see why he didn't see him, and that's because he got a free runner coming right after him, and that's right, 0 right there. Geno sees him. He sees him that split second, but he knows he's not like Russell. He knows that if he tries to make that throw, it's likely going to be off the back foot, and it's likely going to be underthrown, right? So let's see that again. That was the thing I was concerned about, wondering if there was pressure coming, why he didn't throw that football. Watch. So he's got the ball. Bobo's looking. He's like, is he going to follow me? No. What's the result of this play, right? He sees Geno's got the ball. He says, okay, I'm going to turn it up. This guy, get lost. This guy, get lost. Nobody out here, right? Geno, DJ Dallas, obviously, this is a mismatch right down here. This is a mismatch for DJ Dallas. He's going up against number 0. I don't know who that is. But right then and there, Geno sets his feet, right? He's got his momentum falling. He's got his momentum carrying him backwards, right? This guy's completely turned around. He's got no clue. This guy's like, oh, shit, I got to catch up to him or else I'm going to get chewed out on the sideline. And Geno's like, okay, I can't do that anymore, because his eyes were downfield. He saw Bobo. He knew Bobo was open. But guess what? His vision as a quarterback...
He felt that guy. He felt 0 coming at him.
He felt it. he knows he's not athletic enough to make that accurate throw to Bobo coming into the middle of the field and the hash marks there. So he's like, okay, we're going to run out. Maybe Charbonnet gets open. Bobo's still wide open. Finally, he gets turned around.
That's hard to make. That's a hard throw to make on the run, moving to the right to put any kind of power on that ball.
I don't think there's a quarterback other than maybe Aaron Rodgers that can make that throw.
Well, Aaron Rodgers can't make that throw now because he's having surgery.
Yeah, he's having surgery. But and we all saw the result of the play. He runs out.
So what you're saying is it was really DJ Dallas's fault because he didn't make a block on the incoming pass rusher.
DJ Dallas is a decent blocker, but you can't expect. I mean.
Okay, but it was his job. It was his job to get in that guy's way, slow him down enough that Gino would have enough time to throw. If he makes that block and holds him for just a second, half second longer, Gino throws that ball and it's a touchdown. Right?
Yep. Right. Yeah. This is loading for me now. We may have to hold off on this for a second. It's like buffering.
Oh, yay.
I had my computer plugged in. Oh, here we are. We're good.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so
somebody earlier said when you were glitching a little bit, they said, "Oh, see, Sky-High is using that McDonald's Wi-Fi."
I got my computer plugged into Ethernet, man.
Well, so it's that University of North Dakota Wi-Fi. All right, let's see what happens here. So this is the touchdown. This is the DK touchdown, isn't it?
No, it's not. I don't think it is. No.
Is it supposed to be?
This is it.
I want to see the release. I never got a good look at his release. His release sounded like it was something magical.
Let me put it at 10 seconds back so the grayscale goes away. But yeah, we've got the run play. Set it up here. We'll go over this in a second. Let's watch the play naturally because you're going to see DK's footwork. He didn't even run.
Oh, he just did a little juke step inside, which is what I figured he did.
He's like, yeah, screw
Too
you.
Easy.
Gino made the easiest throw of his life there. He was looking DK the entire time as well, and he knew. So let's go back to
took the lead at that point.
Yep, we did take the lead. This is a good play. DK, this guy, the cornerback Durant, has to know that the ball has to be coming towards him, right? DK's going to run this little sluggo route, and that's a sluggo route is essentially you're going to send your defender the wrong way. Doug Baldwin made this route famous for us Hawks fans. He's got that pro footwork. Lockett probably not going to get the ball. These guys probably going to come over to the middle here. So you're really just putting the attention on DK. Gino's read is to DK. We're going to see here. We're going to let it run here.
It's a one-on-one play, really.
It is a one-on-one. And the Rams are showing blitz here, right? These two linebackers creep up. They blitz.
They do blitz.
Seahawks pick it up well for now. Good thing it's only like 12 yards out of the end zone because Aaron Donald's already free. And by now, DK's got his first jab out there. Jab step is what I like to call it. Jab. Oof. Sent him the wrong way. And at that point, Gino's like, okay. The cornerback's like, oh, shoot, I'm screwed. And DK can just accelerate at that point, right? And he makes the catch for the touchdown. Gino doesn't get hit at all. That's a really good play.
That's when things are feeling pretty good.
Things are looking pretty good. Look, we still got our two starting tackles in. Gino
DK wasn't in his head yet, or the Rams weren't in DK's head yet. He was still in his own head.
They tried to swat the ball away from him, but that's kind of it right there, right? That's what we've seen a lot of, right? In the red zone, going towards DK. Getting those one-on-ones. So that's big, especially when we kind of struggled with red zone last year. So we're gonna go now. Switch on to defense. I don't have it pulled up.
Are we still in the first half, or are we on the second half? We're still first half, right?
We're still in the first half. Yes. Make sure this is.
See, if you watch this, there were good things to be had in this game. It wasn't all bad.
Here we go.
We've got the
next play. Here we go. We're going to let this play out here, and then we'll evaluate it. Rams under center formation.
Double tight
obviously,
end.
We've got the double tight end. Obviously, the formation. This is a Seahawks play. And this is vintage Rams
yeah.
right here. If you think about it, play action, and this is what
That's
killed
Higbee?
us.
That's Higbee, right?
Or I think it's either Higbee or Skoranek, but it's a big play. Yeah, it is Higbee. Oh no, that's somebody
that's
else.
Skoranek. Or 88. Or 88
Skoranek is 18.
No, 88.
We'll throw it back and take a look here.
Yeah, this is the typical rollout, and you got a guy. You flow left and roll right, and then you just have one guy who leaks out. That's a very Lockett-esque. I'm surprised we didn't run that. That's a very Lockett-esque play.
Yep.
But
we never really
anyway.
got to open the offense up. But I will say this is very Rams offense, and we see some of this with the Seahawks, right? We got 2 tight ends. Maybe this play takes place in the pistol because we're just cool like that. But here, right, the receiver's going to come crossing over here. He's going to have probably a shallow cross possibly, and I can't remember what Nakua does, but he ends up being an X factor in this game. Oh no, he comes in motion, right? So he comes in motion. I forgot he sets the motion off. So he's just going to come out here. Nakua probably comes out here. He comes here, and he comes here. So we'll let it run. He release, comes out there, right? Like we said, comes out here. And they ended up getting the underneath route, right? They've got a shallower cross and then a deeper cross. So this is just vintage bread and butter Rams. I kind of want to look at whose fault this is.
That's what I was going to ask. Who should have covered him? I assume it's a linebacker or a safety.
One high safety. So we're assuming this is run. I'm going to guess. Julian Love.
Julian Love, who, again, had about as good a day as Trey Brown did.
And we're going to look at it right here. Quandre Diggs can't really do much because Nakua and Trey Brown and Nakua,
he's got to help. He's got to help over the top.
Wagner, I don't know if this is intentional or not. He's got his arms up like that, like that, but he's got that covered. Julian Love, what are you doing? I feel like he's got this area. Are you supposed to get this area? Because if so, is Trey Brown supposed to come down? And he comes down. It's a little bit confusing as to see. Oh, Trey Brown.
Well, Trey Brown's got right deep. Trey Brown's got deep right third, so he's in the right spot.
Julian Love just doesn't keep pace with the tight end here, and again, just poor effort. We've talked about it in the open. Poor effort and poor execution is what plagued the Seahawks defense here. Obviously, you got to follow through on him with that, right? He's coming across your field of vision. Follow him through, right? Oh, he's pointing.
But he's pointing. Who's he pointing at?
Who's supposed to? It's either Julian Love or Trey Brown that's missing their assignment. And it doesn't look like Trey Brown's missing his assignment right now because Nakua has had a pretty good first half at this point. Seattle may be accounting. Is Wagner supposed to be out with him? Because if Wagner's supposed to be out, this guy may be wide open. It's just a complete defensive breakdown and lack of execution. And the Rams make you pay with probably one of their bread and butter plays. So we'll go to the next play in a second, but that's just...
And he misses the tackle, by the way. Missed the tackle. I'll just add insult to injury.
It's just... We talk about... We talk about poor effort. You can cut back, Norb, so I can get the next play set up. But it's just poor execution and not a lack of effort, but a lack of just knowing what you're supposed to be doing. And obviously, it's not going to be perfect in the first game, but this was bad. This was like worse than you expected. You expect going in as a new player and going in with new players and new scheme possibly. You expect there to be mistakes. You don't expect there to be this many mistakes, right?
Right.
You don't expect there to be a problem like this. So I think that's it for the first half. I think we're going to move on.
I want to see how Nakua he became like the Cooper Kupp reincarnated with a different name because he was catching everything in the second half. Number 17 was like a thorn in our side.
Everybody's picking up on fantasy now. They're like, oh my gosh, he's going to be the new wide receiver 1. No. Yeah. Well, I think half the time this is a different play, but there you go. There's Nakua again, gets the first down, right? Well, the Rams, here we go. The Rams, they love to attack those corners, right? Well, guess what? More play action. Oh my gosh, look who's wide open.
Oh, this is the drop.
He dropped it though. But again, this is a mistake. This is something that should never have happened, right?
That was about another 50 yards of passing yardage they should have had that they didn't get on the stats because they dropped it.
Right? So obviously, pre-snap, no
60.
motion.
65 yards.
Yeah, 65. No motion here. They've got one tight end. This is a different formation for the Rams, right? If you're Seattle, you're kind of thinking, okay, maybe they're running a crossers. Maybe these guys, well, Tutu Atwell's going to come up here. Van Jefferson's going to split the safeties out over there. And Nakua's probably going to come over here. So they're probably right? We're going to run to an extent 3 crossers, right? That's what's happening. That's what happens. Running back shades out. These guys are good. Honestly, this is pretty good, right?
What's Quandre doing?
Quandre's out here playing his deep position. Well, by this point, Stafford's decided to throw the ball, right? And it all depends on the angle that Van Jefferson takes to get to this ball, right? If Van Jefferson comes up here to get this ball, if the ball is thrown here, let me start over. If the ball is thrown here, Quandre Diggs has a good chance of crashing down and meeting him at that impact zone, right? Well, that's not what Van Jefferson does, and that's not what the route calls for. Van Jefferson's going to take this corner route, and we're going to see what happens with Quandre. He stops thinking Van, like the other two who ran crossers or cut routes, is going to come up here, right? Because there's all this open space, right? He gets caught. He gets completely almost turned around. Van's taking a different route. He's taking a different angle. Diggs is like, oh, no. Now, I want you to know, when you're in football, playing football, and you see this, you are screwed, right? Diggs, the only way Diggs is going to catch him if he goes up here, because Van's all the way out here, right? You can't turn and catch him here. Your feet are already moving you this way. It's just, you're like, oh, crap, right? Well, Diggs cuts up at the final moment. This ball's perfectly thrown. I don't know if it's a touchdown, because Diggs has got him kind of pretty well leveled here.
Probably gets him from another 6-7 yards down the field, but nonetheless, that's 50 yards.
The route isn't run perfectly either, and he drops it. But that's a mistake. Quandre Diggs takes a terrible path to the ball here, and doesn't stay. He doesn't. What's the word that it's on the tip of my tongue. He doesn't stay ready there. He does. He's jumping, trying to guess this route, trying to get that interception. He doesn't stay grounded in his feet. He doesn't stay deep because God knows he's got the speed to get up to these receivers if they make the cut, and he's able to jump in front of it. But you can't get turned around like that. And I know playing safety's tough, but you can't get turned around like that. And they're lucky. They're extremely lucky that they did not get paid for that. And I think the next play is the Tutu Atwell deep shot where guess who? Julian Love and Trey Brown are involved with each other once again.
Oh, the deep one to the right corner, right? Is that like right after this play? Like they dropped one, but then they get one or two plays after that.
No, it's a
different play.
No,
there's so many, I lose track.
It's coming up. All right, we got this play. This is one of the positives of the second half. Actually, we're on defense. Nakua ends up getting another first down. What do you know? Another bunch formation. Trigger the move. Oh! Nakua just got popped by Boye Mafe, and Cam Akers got destroyed by about half the Seahawks defense. We're gonna watch Boye Mafe 53 here.
On the left.
Boom! Drop to his feet. I know it doesn't look as intense, but we're gonna watch that again, right? Here we go. We'll look at it again, right? Watch this right here, okay? Because Boye Mafe, I think he had a pretty good game. He explodes through. Higbee, ready? Boom!
Boom.
Dropped him right to the ground. Ends up making the tackle. That's all Boye Mafe. I was so impressed with him in the preseason. He looks so good. And Seattle actually has it scouted out pretty well, right? Again.
Eric Turney, real quick. Eric Turney, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it.
That's epic. They've got the narrow receivers. It's likely going to be a run. Seattle's got the two real linebackers this time, plus Julian Love and that one deep safety, right? They have this scouted pretty well. Rams go under center, trigger the motion, see if it throws off anybody, see if it ends up dragging across somebody. Julian Love's got that covered, I believe. So does Trey Brown. Nakua ends up getting just blasted out of this universe, and Boye Mafe ends up making the tackle. And if he misses the tackle, there are about
There's
There's a host of Seahawks able to make the play.
There's a kettle of Hawks, as the preseason play-by-play gal would say. He's met by a kettle of Hawks.
We're not going to talk about her. I don't know. I don't know if I was a fan of that. I was like,
I wasn't a fan either.
The voice was so like
a little abrasive,
like,
a little like nails on a chalkboard.
Where's Kurt Menefee? I miss him, but.
All right, are we on to the next play?
Well, almost, but yeah. This is run defense, right? The run defense I was pretty impressed with. We did pretty good. So this was a good play here. You can cut so I can find the next play. We're kind of moving along. 38-57. So I think this is this may end up being the touchdown, or not touchdown, the deep pass. We end up giving up a short completion, brought down by Trey Brown. That's a good play. It's first down though. They end up getting
This is the play, I think. The one to the right, right?
Yep. Okay, so the Rams they're in the shotgun here. They've got, we'll let this play out and we'll give it a go. Oh, they faked the motion. Sean McVay's a smart guy. We're about to unpack this pile of dog crap that just took place. Tutu Atwell surrounded by 3 Seahawks, and none of them were able to get close to him making the play on the ball. Here we go. What Atwell's assignment is he's been motioning all over the field this entire game. Why not have him motion? Seattle's playing that kind of zone here. That's not correct, but out there. And, well, guess what? Let's throw a wrench into their plans, because, right, what's Trey Brown supposed to do when Nakua, or not when Nakua, but when Atwell comes inside, right? Atwell comes inside. Brown actually makes the right decision. He stays where he needs to stay, right? He's sticking true to his assignment. Well, guess what? This is a very similar play, and I'm going to tell you right now, Sean McVay took this play probably out of Ohio State's playbook, because Ohio State used to run a play that was just like this. I wish I could find a clip of it right about now, but I'll try and find it later but they would run a bunch trips essentially, and they would have guys that would just go in absolute jack directions, right? One goes up here, one goes out there, and it would just and in this kind of look, it throws the defense off like crazy. Diggs is screwed. He's already going out there, going out towards 30-yard line out here to help Tariq. But in this case, Julian Love's trying to get to his assignment.
These guys kind of ran into each other almost there a little bit.
Out here, he's fine. Trey Brown takes what is a pretty poor angle to where he needs to go. If he if he was just patient enough, Diggs was probably waiting for him. If he ran over the middle, he probably could have just hustled out of the outside and made a play. But instead, he kind of chases him loop-de-loop, and Atwell's way too fast, and Diggs ain't gonna catch him. And that was just a steaming pile of dog crap, right?
So who's his responsibility, you're saying? Who should have taken him?
Trey Brown?
Was it Trey Brown was supposed to stay with him?
Yeah, Trey Brown was supposed to stay with him.
Okay.
And that's a tough play. That is a coverage beater. That is pretty much a guaranteed coverage beater. So although it looked really bad, there's almost nothing that if you're in that look, you can do about it, because he's doing his thing. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Trey Brown's just in the middle of this. He's in the middle of all these guys that he needs to try and catch up. So you can cut back now. I try and find this Ohio State play. See if we can pull it up.
So you're saying then that was just a really good play design. McVay outcoached us on that one.
Yeah, that was a very, very, very good play design.
Well, that is one of those things. You got the trips and all those guys trying to cover these three guys who knows where to go. And that's kind of what worked because you had him and Julian Love kind of almost running into each other, almost picking themselves off the receiver. That's tough.
So, yeah, it's just...
That was a good play.
I can't find it, but I remember at some point Ohio State ran this play, and it was a very similar play, and they ended up getting a touchdown because the defense was just like, what the heck just happened? They kind of just, like, messed with everything. So our next play, we're on defense again. What do you know?
Same possession?
No, this is a later possession. I don't know what happens this play, but we'll let it run. Oh, what do you know? Motion! Stafford. Now, this is one of the rare instances in this game where if you were paying attention, we were kind of able to get a little bit of pressure towards Matthew Stafford. A little bit, right? A little bit.
Oh, that's right. You got rid of that ball because he was under pressure.
Where he was forced to get rid of that ball, right? With four men, right? Who kind of gets to him there? Jaron Reed. Jones gets his hands up in there. And he's kind of forced to get rid of the ball. Kyron Williams doesn't really run a great route. Kind of supposed to run a little one of those. He does beat his man, but Stafford's forced to throw the ball, or else he gets sacked, right? So everyone else is covered. He kind of has to just throw it away. Kyron Williams isn't going to be there. That's what happens, right? And that's one of the low positives of the second half, right? Besides the Rams getting away with like 3 holding calls, but that's one of those positives. They make a field goal, right? We get the ball back. We don't do anything with it. Ken Walker tries to do his little dancing dance.
Oh, we didn't do anything with the ball at all in the second half. The only thing that helped us get anything positive was the pass interference, but we didn't get any first downs on our own at all in the second half.
So this is one of the last plays that I'll show. We'll let it run. Then we've got a few more. There we go. Under center. Whoa, we've seen this before. Motion. It's Nakua this time. Oh, we got to roll everybody out.
The crosser.
And we'll complete the crosser. And that's kind of what put us to bed in the second half. Those short passes and then just kind of exposing us wide open with the crosser. So we'll go ahead and evaluate this real quick. Here we go.
So again, out of that trip set.
Yeah, out of that trip set. He's not equivalent with the line of scrimmage. That should be a teller that he's going to be the one to be crossing that play. It's under center, so if he's crossing that, it's either going to be handoff to this side, but they only have their one tight ends here, so this is almost certainly going to be a throw from the Seahawks from the coaching perspective if you're up in the booth watching this game. So, and you read the defense. So here's what happens, right? Nakua comes in motion. He's been everywhere. They are like, we got to get all over this guy, right? Oh, guess what happens? This is common 2021 Seahawks. My line covers it perfectly. These two guys essentially have responsibility of all this space. The linebackers are to remain in this area, kind of this area only, right? They let everything come behind them. Well, there you go. There comes Atwell across the field. And not going to lie, Stafford could have thrown it here too if he wanted to, but he would have probably had to worry about Diggs coming up on him. But this is an easy throw. But guess what? Who's pointing this time? More pointing. Wait a minute. He's pointing like, okay, you get him, and I guess I'll just come like 5 seconds late to the party. And
who was that point? I can't tell from here.
It looks Julian Love.
That's Julian Love again.
So, obviously, there was
and it should be stated that Julian Love is playing the spot of Jamal Adams right now.
Julian Love is going to be a starter for this defense at nickel cornerback. But he made a little hand gesture earlier. I don't know if we can go back to signal that he knew something was him. So he knew what was coming almost, pretty much. They run this play, and this is probably the easiest throw that he'll make all game, right? He's like, Julian Love's like, takes a bad angle to the ball here. Nothing he can do about it. And
so you're saying that it was Julian Love's responsibility. He needed to take him as he was coming across.
We'll come across a few plays later. That's one of the better plays of the secondary. It ends up being a penalty. And sort of towards the red zone is where this offense struggled. This play was probably Julian Love's best play because it was going to be a touchdown to Skoranek, and it probably should have been illegal contact on Trey Brown, but the referee missed it. There you go. Grabs him, trips him. That's probably illegal contact or pass interference. But Love makes the play, and now it's fourth down. And
they score.
This should tell you that this play's going that way, right? And oh no, this is the previous play.
That's the previous play from the end zone view. That actually, the reason that play worked is because the guy running along with Stafford tripped. Was that Higbee coming from the left tight end spot?
Coming across, Skoranek, that he got pulled by Trey Brown. I don't know if you saw it, but Trey Brown did kind of trip him and grab him by the back of a jersey very gently, but it did result in possibly tripping him. Same formation, pretty much. Seahawks are like, wait a minute, we've seen this. Very likely that it's going to happen at some point. The play will happen here. They realize, oh, whoa. They're pointing at something. Called for the motion. Is it going to be a sweep? No, it's going to be a pitch. And the tackle and the receiver bounced outside perfectly. Tariq Woolen doesn't even know what's going on. He's like, oh, no. Jackson cuts back to make that block. Touchdown. And I think that essentially kind of 7 minutes left in the game, and that essentially ended the game.
That kind of was the dagger right there, the nail in the coffin, more or less.
And then the Seahawks just kind of just wet the bed at that point offensively. There's nothing to watch here at this point anymore. But yeah,
so I'm curious. What's your take on how did Tariq Woolen play this game, guys? Because you didn't really hear his name called that much. I don't remember saying, "Oh man, Tariq got beat." I remember one slant play where he kind of was behind the guy and he caught it in ahead of him. But I don't remember thinking that Tariq had a lot of busted plays, unlike Julian Love and Trey Brown. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. I think Julian. What's his face? Rick Woolen. Nothing. I don't think he had a bad game. I think Stafford didn't. Just didn't target him that much.
Avoided his side, right?
Yeah, he avoided his side as much as possible, and obviously that was. It is what it is, right? But. I think he's going to be avoided again this week. I think he needs to follow them this week. The Seahawks are going to have a really tough test this week because we're playing the Lions where they have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and we've got exposed in the slot this week. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a slot receiver, so that may cause a little bit of an issue. But, there's one more play I want to look at, and some of you are going to be like, wait a minute, this isn't the Seahawks. Well, this is going to be one more play. And for those of you who were watching...
last night's game. Oh, the finale to the overtime?
Finale, right? But yeah, right. Everybody's like, this is a great play. Wow. It's a crappy punt, first of all. Whoa.
Horrible coverage.
Look at that wall form. Horrible coverage. Horrible wall. Spot the penalty when you see it. Spot the penalty. No penalty.
Oh, that push in the back?
No. This place just lost by their analysts. Penalty happens now.
Oh, right.
Well,
the push in the back ahead of the returner?
No. I'll explain it here. There's a new rule in the NFL called tripping. If you are the offensive team and you trip a player, it's kind of like, remember... kind of where you lower your shoulder to the guy's knees without wrapping up, and it's called tripping, right?
Oh, is that called tripping? Okay, so you're talking about a block, where you're like doing a diving block to somebody's legs.
Yeah, tripping or clipping. Watch. He kind of falls, but he lowers his shoulder and trips that player, and he prevents him from scoring. And this was talked about last night. He prevents him from making the tackle. That's a penalty. The referee probably is caught up with all this madness over here, but that's a penalty. That's a play that shouldn't have counted. let alone this is a great story. The kid is all over Hard Knocks, and he ends up getting the game-winning touchdown. But that's a missed penalty, and if I was on the Bills, look, the guy's pointing it out right here, right? He's like,
Right.
whoa.
The guy,
There's tripping right here. There's something that should be going on, and it ends up being a touchdown. This place looks crazy. Everybody's jumping up and down. It's a party. We'll see if we can see.
If they did call that penalty, that would have put the ball back at the 40-yard line or so. Is that a 10-yard penalty or a 15-yarder?
I think it's a 10-yard penalty. But look again, perfect blocking either way. This is nearly perfectly executed.
Right.
I want to see the reaction, right? The reaction, they pointed out. They're like, whoa, that should be a foul. And it's not. And the guy's just, it's pandemonium. So, yeah, that's it right there, right? But that's just one thing I wanted to point out. But obviously, let's move on to this week. This week, obviously, we need to do 5 things that we need to do better. 5 things. We need to open up our playbook offensively. We need to do better, calling better plays. I think getting Gino out of the pocket ran well. Continue to improve on run defense. We need to play better in the secondary, better communication, better execution, better preparation. We need to get some pass rush. Get some pass rush, please. For the love of God, get some pass rush. And 5, we need to win, right? I feel like this is a must-win if we're going to prove that we're going to be contenders this year, because the Lions, obviously showing that they possibly could be a contender this year. They beat Kansas City. So this is a team that I think we need to beat. I think we can beat. We match up well against them. I think we have the possibility of putting up a lot of points against them. So I think that's just the goal for that. But yeah.
So how do you get more pass rush? It's easy to say we need more pass rush, but these are the guys we have. They tried blitzing Bobby. That didn't work. So how are you going to get more pass rush when they don't just grow on trees? Do they scheme it differently? They got to blitz differently? What do you think?
You got to scheme it differently. You got to scheme it differently, and you got to blitz differently, because we can't get pass rush the way that you want to get pass rush. You got to change things, right? You can't just go out and expect the same thing to work the next time, right? So you got to change things. You got to get creative. I wouldn't be surprised if we see cornerback, like straight out cornerback rushes. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and send Witherspoon at some point. If Adams is back this week, he's going full steam ahead. I feel like we're going to have a lot more man coverage, a lot more patience defensively, and a lot more rush. Obviously, I'm expecting the run defense to play the same as it did last week. Very good. And the pass rush, if the pass rush comes, it's going to make up for those mistakes that we have in the secondary, because they kind of go hand in hand. The secondary wouldn't have to work so hard and have to make so many mistakes if the pass rush is able to get home like it usually has in the past previous years. So that's just something to keep in mind. So pass rush, if we don't get any pass rush at all this year and we struggle to get sacks, we're going to go out and it's probably going to be somebody's going to have to lose their job, and somebody from a top free agent to a top draft pick is going to be brought here to ensure that we get pass rush, and it's going to be a top priority, because I think the offensive line is fine, especially with Jason Peters coming. I would start him any day over Abraham Lucas.
Well, I might not say the offensive line is fine, because we did lose the 2 tackles. We don't know how long it's going to be. And
Lucas will be fine. I think he'll play. I think Peters will be fine in position and place for whoever doesn't play.
41-year-old Peters, will be fine.
He's a unit. He's a big guy. Hey, I'll tell you what. If he plays, we'll see on the film next week how he does.
Yeah, I guess we will see that. One thing I hope you left this out of your breakdown. What I do not want to see next week, at least maybe one time, but the freaking bubble screens or any screen. The Seahawks don't know how to run a screen, and until they learn how to run it correctly, throw that page out of the playbook and just burn it until they can actually run it well, because it's a guaranteed negative 1-2 yards. I mean, you watched in the game last night, the Jets were running screens all over the place to the running back. For some reason, we can't do that. I don't know why, but until they learn how to do it. And it's a tricky thing, right? It's not just throwing it to your running back, but you got to have the lineman who can sell it, and then, that's what makes it work. But
we don't know how to pass.
We don't know how to do it. So don't do it. Get the ball to the tight ends. I want to see more runs. Give K9. K9 actually had a good average. He had like 5+ yards a carry.
Yeah.
Problem was they stopped giving it to him because we only ran like 12 plays in the second half. So there you go. But yeah.
In conclusion, this was, I'd like to compare it to last year against Carolina and 2019 against Arizona, where we had a good first half and then it just right downhill. We played games like this before. I don't think anybody was like, I feel like I wasn't too surprised at whatever happened. The Rams are going to be a decent team. And I think what we've learned is that we just need to improve on things and get better at them, and need to stop. And this punch in the face, like I said in the open, was a good thing that happened to us. Rather have it happen now than week 16, when we're hopefully vying for a spot in the division or seeding or all these different things, right? Where we just lose a less senseless game to the Rams. So I'm full confidence we're going to come out next week. And if I'm wrong, you can make a meme out of me or whatever. But we'll be fine. And rest in peace, Nick LeBeau, because he was not able to make it tonight, and he's busy with his life. He's got a girlfriend now and all that. So.
Oh,
no,
I don't know. You go, Nick.
It's unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed.
I don't know.
Rumors have it. All right, well, there you go. That's as spoken as only can be said from Sky-High Aviation. Got to ask you, Sky-High, so you are like Sophie, my oldest daughter, starting her first year in college. How has college been this first, month? Almost a month at North Dakota? How's everything going there so far in your first few weeks of college?
It's been a bit wild. I'm not going to lie. Our floor has... We've had some issues. I'm not going to lie. We had a glass whiteboard outside. This happened a few days ago. I know the glare is pretty bad, but the whiteboard got shattered in the middle
Show
of the
that
night.
one more time. Let me see it one more time.
It's the light.
So that's your whiteboard, like at the front of the class, got smashed? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's hard to tell what that is.
And the whiteboard in the front of in our common area got smashed.
Oh, okay.
Somebody broke an exit sign. So that's just like an exit sign.
Okay, some vandalism and running amok in your dorm.
And I've been told that people here have drinking problems. So yeah.
How's the party life?
Big here. Hockey's big. Oh, it's big. Yeah. It's big. It's rush week, so they're all acting dry. They're all not drinking to act dry and fun, right? To all these appealing rushing freshmen. I don't think Greek life is for me. I don't know if I could do like that. So
I know Sophie's definitely having her share of enjoying the party scene down in San Diego.
Yeah, don't
she
ask
already knows
about
where all the
that.
good parties are at in the Greek system. So
See,
yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about that yet. We're on live stream. You know what?
Anyway, we won't get into it.
Tailgating at football games is fun. That's what I was saying with friends. So yeah, my roommate is not here. He's nowhere. He's playing ping pong downstairs.
Okay, I was gonna say I wasn't sure how you're streaming this without a roommate in the room, since you just have two. Sophie's got 3 in a room. You only got 2, right?
Well, the sister. Yeah, no, I've got a roommate, and then there's a room next door. It's 2 others, and then we all 4 share a bathroom and sinks and all that.
Right, but I mean, you in the room you're in, you share the room with one person in this room that you are in currently, right? Yeah.
My bed is like right next to me. That's my roommate's bed. Then my bed's over here.
Okay.
And so,
gotcha.
but a word of advice to kids going to college: get a roommate, right? Whether it's a friend, whether it's a random person, do not consider going. If they offer it, do not go by yourself, because it's harder to make friends. It's harder to meet people. It's a lot harder to just you'll be lonely essentially, right? Because you're there by yourself, whether you're close to your family or not. You're by yourself. So it's just make friends, be with the roommate, go have fun. Remember, college will smack you right in the face like it doing me right now. I have an exam tomorrow, but it is what it is. I think we'll be fine. But yeah, go have, enjoy it. It's a new experience. It's your chance to finally be you. And there's everything, right? It doesn't matter where you go. There's going to be something for someone. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Hey, what's up?
There he is.
What's your roommate's name?
Logan, but he can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Right. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this breakdown for us, even though you got an exam to study for tomorrow. But that was fun. It was very informative. I hadn't had a chance to watch all 22, so it was fun to watch it with your analysis and your little annotations. Very helpful.
Who said anything about studying?
You just said you had an exam where I assume there might be some studying, but maybe not. Maybe you just know all this already pre-programmed in your brain of yours.
Maybe.
So, all right. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Want to tell everybody where they can find your channel and what they might find on it if they happen to go there?
You can go find my channel, Sky-High Aviation. I haven't uploaded in about a year, but I've got 21 weeks worth of videos that I need to edit and upload. So at some point, I'll have half a year's worth of videos uploaded consistently. Maybe when I come home, I'll just do a 48-hour nonstop session.
You need to do a video. And I've been bugging Sophie because she hasn't done this either, but do a video and just like do a day in the life of, and just shoot a bunch of stuff where you go and just get a feel of like in 1 minute or 2 minutes or something about all the places you go and where your classes are, what the lay of the land looks like. Because I think people would find that interesting. I know nothing about, University of North Dakota.
Get a job. I got a job. I work at a Chick-fil-A now.
Oh, look at you. Do you get free food?
Yes, in the union. I got a Chick-fil-A. Well, the worst part is the inspector showed up today without notice, and I was breading the chicken. I was like cutting pieces off of it, and I don't want to talk about it, but it was funny.
What was that? Not proper procedure?
Well, it was proper procedure, but when the inspector follows every 20 minutes, if the nuggets are, it's weird. Like when you make nuggets, you got to make the nuggets. And you set a timer for 20 minutes, right? And after 20 minutes, if whatever nuggets is there, you got to throw them out. And usually it's a lot of nuggets. So when the inspector,
can you just save it and take it home? Can you save it and take it home?
I usually tend to snack on them when I'm working, so I just taste test the product. Why not? Hopefully Chick-fil-A's
that's what I would do. I'd be like, hey, save stuff for me, Sky-High, and then send it over to me via U.S. mail.
Yeah, no, it may not smell too good or look too good. It doesn't look too good after that.
Well, so I'm excited for you, man. When we first connected online was probably, 3-4 years ago, something like that? I think during the pandemic time, wasn't that when it all kind of clicked? 2020?
At some point,
your voice was very high. You looked like a little kid, and now look at you. Yeah. Man-style mustache in college. In a few years, you're going to be flying planes. How crazy is that? Yep. And I always said, remember I would say when I had you on there, I said, this is Sky-High Aviation. Someday it's going to be Sky-High going, hello, everybody. This is their captain speaking, Captain Sky-High Aviation of United Airlines. We're going to be taking the scenic route from Seattle Tacoma International Airport down to San Diego, the party school of America. And then we're going to go by, on the left here is Mount Rainier. On the right is Mount Hood. And over there is, when we reach our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet, you might see some seagulls over there. And, oh no, it flew through the engine. Oh my God. Just kidding. Everything except that part.
I hope it wouldn't go that way. I am planning to come to Seattle at some point, possibly next season, during the season.
Okay. Your sophomore year?
Weekend. I'm hoping
to come watch a game, maybe?
Making money. Maybe come watch a game, possibly. I just jump on a flight here to Minneapolis and then Minneapolis to Seattle, depending on how much I need to spend money on. But that's for a long time away. I got to figure it out.
I know. We got to get through this season first. So, all right. Hopefully. Well, hopefully that was fun. I'd like to think that if people enjoy this, we'll do this again and hopefully be talking about something better for the breakdown about the Seahawks-Lions game. We'll find out in a few days, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. Thanks again, Sky-High Aviation, for your time. And for everybody else for tuning in, thank you so much. And for those people who subscribed, where did we finish at? Where was the final subscribe count? Let's see. We finished at a whopping 529. Hey, I got a few more in there, so thank you for those of you who subscribed. I greatly appreciate it. Again, my name is NorbFam. This is Sky-High Aviation. Check out our channels, and more videos to come. I got my complete Seahawks prediction music video coming out. The plan is to release it on Friday, but I still got a lot of singing, a lot of stuff to do on it. Editing, singing, shooting. I mean, my work is not done, so I still got a lot to do, even though I'm putting off in a week. So anyway, there we go, man. Appreciate you, man. And I hope your Astros. I hope your Astros lose. Because
what the heck?
we need to catch you guys. You guys already got your World Series, and some of them questionable about the integrity of them. Mariners need to get some breaks here. So come on now. All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Go Hawks.